And we're back, folks. Nice to see all you. Chat's getting pretty busy. I'm happy to see it. Welcome back, of course, to the NSLB. No slugger left behind. Every player playing in this Mario Super Sluggers AI League. I am your host, your commissioner, your play-by-play commentator, owner of the Luigi Knights, Christian, here for week 8, coming up on the halfway point. And with me in the press box, as always, is your co-commentator, statistician, person who keeps me on a tight leash, and owner of the Mario Fireballs, Iris. How we doing, Iris?
I'm doing really well. I'm excited to see some more baseball this week. Uh, we're almost up at the halfway point, so that's pretty exciting. And I think everyone would agree that we've had a pretty interesting first half. Uh, I don't think well, just statistically, I don't think anyone could have possibly predicted things would be exactly this way, but definitely some surprises, some dark horses emerging, some teams maybe mounting comebacks. We, we've got a lot to look forward to as we round out this first half of the season.
Yeah, we absolutely do. And, every just about every team has faced every other team now as we get this way through. A lot of the buys have gone by, so teams have just about all played the same number of games. We've got the standings up here now, as you can see. Luigi Knights firmly at the top right now, although I will let you in on a little secret that I'll talk about later. That could be less firm of a lead after this week. Nothing that happens this week could cause the Knights to drop that spot, but they can get a little closer to the rest of the pack, who are very tight right now. We've got the Fireballs at 4-1 and one tie that I'm sure will be the only one I'm forced to put on this season. Thanks, Iris. Appreciate that. Uh,
Yep, I did get the 4-1-1.
we then have three teams at 3-3. Only the top four make it to playoffs, so if things are still this tight at the end, it's going to get pretty interesting. Muscles are at 3-4, not that far behind. Flowers down at 2-3-1. Monsters at a rough 2-5 after a lot of very strong showings that just ended up getting beat out at the end, including a 13-run game that they still lost. And the Monarchs, as we get towards the halfway point, starting to trail a little bit, going to need to make some changes, but I have it on good authority that West Zach plans to.
Yeah, I the standings are so tight at this point that I don't think anyone can feel too secure in their spots. You certainly able to be the most secure, but I mean, there's a world where 5 games from now that you got to keep winning. Everybody has to keep winning if they want to make the playoffs. Nobody can rest on their laurels.
No, no. I'm coming to terms with the fact that this top spot forever honeymoon position is not gonna be a free one. But I really feel like the way we've been playing, I'll be shocked if we don't at least make top four by the end of this.
Yeah, I and hey, that's the confidence you got to have in your team, and that's the confidence that 6-0 can afford you.
Yeah, but hey, plenty more baseball to play, including game one tonight, which is going to feature you, another team I think likely to make the playoffs. But you're going up against somebody that my father, I think, accurately points out, bit of a dark horse. Certainly not a team to count out in the DK Wilds, who have just about figured out their lineup. I think a lot of folks really played around early in the first half here, but I think most teams are just about settled. Of course, I'll let you walk us through your team, which has been settled pretty much from their first appearance.
Uh, yeah, is the graphic on stream updated? I can't tell if that's just delay for me.
Um, it I'm showing game one. Chat can yell at me if they're not seeing game one; they're just seeing the standings. But I definitely
Okay, there it is.
okay.
Just
Wow,
took
that is some delay.
yeah, that's kind of what. Anyway, away team here. We've got Red Critter leading off with the star, Hammer Bro at third base, Boomerang Bro at first, Fire at in left field. Red Mage is manning second base. I'm out in center field. Mario taking the mound. Red Toad over in right field. And Baby Daisy at catcher. And Baby Daisy's here too, as it goes.
I love it. Baby Daisy's here
But yeah,
too.
this is uh, the weaker defensively of our lineups. Mario is able to have a bit more longevity on the mound, but having to put a bro out there in right field is just really unfortunate. We'll see how much it matters in, I believe, DK Jungle, one of the bigger parks in the game.
One of the bigger parks, one of the parks with a bit of a strange boundary. The foul poles can allow for some cheeky home runs. We've seen a couple of pathing issues getting around the tree roots and the wall in the back.
Mm-hmm.
This is daytime DK Jungle, so the hazard's not quite as hazardous as they tend to be at night. But one team that should know how to play around them by now is the home team, the DK Wilds, who are going for a full Kong outfield this week. Tiny Kong left fielder batting leadoff, Diddy Kong right fielder second, Dixie Kong in center batting third. They'll be teeing up Donkey Kong starting pitcher, definitely the biggest home run threat on this team by a country mile. But the chemistry section of this lineup can keep moving too, and chemistry is something this team has in spades, with Baby DK, Blue Yoshi, Baby Mario, starred Baby Luigi, of course, everybody's favorite, and Calvin bringing up the rear, who will have chem with Baby Luigi as he is green this week. Like I said at the start, bit of a dark horse team. I think the Wilds have a lot of the right pieces, but it's been a mixed bag for them so far. This is a bit of a excuse me, bit of a different lineup than they started with, but certainly one that I would not discount at any time. Not now, and not when I've got to deal with them myself next week.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we've seen Calvin tinker a lot over these weeks, just trying to figure out where exactly everyone slots into the lineup, where exactly everyone slots onto the field. And I think we've seen some definite progress. And again, you're mentioning this team has chemistry in spades. It's one of those things where, a couple outfield items in a league where people have a lot of trouble dashing, those outfield items can be a really valuable way to get extra base hits. And so it's not hard to see why this lineup has perhaps overperformed compared to some people's expectations. They are truly a force to be reckoned with.
But they are coming up with one of the biggest forces to be reckoned with in this league tonight. So I, without further ado, am going to get us started and see how this goes.
Sounds good.
Oh, please ignore the gray box, a relic of a chat widget that didn't quite work. Red Critter going to start things off pretty strong here, and just as I was saying, those roots giving a little bit of trouble as Dixie Kong manages to get to it. Only going to be one base, but the fact that he's on at all is already scary because Hammer Bro looks like he's gearing up for a deep one, but it's not too high for Dixie Kong to catch, and once again, nobody likes to tag up unless they're on third. Red Critter stays on first for all that.
Yeah, it's really hard to tag up from first, though, and make it to second. That is the base that's closest to the outfield.
Chat says stream is a little quiet. I can fix that. Is it any better now? As is that Boomerang or Fire Bro? I was paying attention. That's Fire Bro. Hits a
That's
single with
Boomerang.
an extra base. Fire Bro is up.
Boomerang hit the single. Firebro's at bat.
Right. Sorry. Trying to check my volume. Still P quiet. Okay. Well, we can keep going.
And that is going to score at least one. Those roots being an issue will only be one as we see Tiny Kong there making the throw home. Dixie Kong got a little caught up on those roots. That's just what happens here.
Oh, okay.
You know, as much as we've seen some early hits, expect that to be going both ways. I think this is can be in certain ways a hitter-friendly park, just with the weird outfield shapes, as you mentioned earlier. Even if it is a large ballpark.
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
As I gear up, and Baby Luigi, a fan favorite, shows up once again. Uh, Anyone who's ever played Doki Doki Panic, released as Super Mario Bros. 2 in the US, knows Luigi jumps higher.
He does. Jumps higher in the GBA port of Mario World as well as the optional second player. Don't think he does in the Super Nintendo. Think he's just a recolor there.
I am pretty sure you're correct. It's been a little bit, which is a shame because I do have a SNES setup. I like playing the Kaizo games though.
Diddy Kong gets one up the middle there, thinks about going for second, decides to stay on first. Don't want to risk any outs with your power hitter coming up. Game volume was adjusted a little bit. Y'all can, again, let me know. I didn't change any audio settings from last week, so I'm surprised to hear that it's coming off a little strange, but I've got a million windows open. One of them will do what it needs to, as Dixie Kong does what she needs to with a single here.
Yeah, and getting anyone on base in front of Donkey Kong is just crucial if you're the Wilds. You're looking to even the score right here, and Donkey Kong might have just, with one swing of the bat. However, I'm able to rob it. Enormous height. Firebro just able to get there.
That was Toad.
Or Toad, right. That's right. I forgot that I moved Firebro out to left field.
Yeah, you did. Which, you know, I'm sure you had a good reason.
I've gone back and forth on it. I think theoretically, I want Toad to be whichever side of the field the hitting lineup is more dominated with. I forget if that's actually true for the DK Wilds. I don't think it is.
We'll find out here.
I want to say they're a more lefty-dominated team.
Mario gonna use a fireball to get the first strike here. Baby DK gonna put one nicely up the middle. Not as flashy.
Fireballs, yeah, by avoiding those fireballs, I did manage to hold the runners on base for a bit of a darker blue Yoshi here than perhaps fans of other teams might be used to.
Yeah, and you hate to be bases loaded 2 outs with one of your team's weakest batters up, but that's just how the lineup works sometimes. And so the Wild's not going to be able to answer to an early 2 spot from the fireballs. Mario, Red Toad, Baby Daisy, definitely the less scary part of their lineup, but Red Critter is right back up if the Wilds don't make this a 1-2-3.
And they will not, as Mario lines a single shallow center field, makes it to first base. I love those kind. That's one of my favorite hits in baseball, you know, just sinking it right up the middle, right over the head of the infielders, short of the center fielders. It's honest work.
Honestly,
I'll tell you what is
Mario,
not honest is that barrel.
Anything where
Toad hits into a double play.
I was gonna say anything where Mario doesn't double play is a good hit from him, and Toad decides to take it instead. Baby Luigi again.
Luigi's got those hops again.
Great air. I wonder if that's the stars doing, or if he's just naturally that much of a power player at short.
You know, you have to ask yourself, as Baby Luigi will, you know, potentially be redrafted elsewhere in a future season. Does this time with the star, has it helped Baby Luigi get acclimated to the big leagues, or is it going to become a crutch, and is he going to have just a huge sophomore slump if he doesn't receive that star again next year?
Hard to say, but the chemistry item really doing some beautiful work here.
And that's what I was saying earlier, you know, chem items, they can turn singles into doubles. They can also turn outs into singles, as Toad is just shy of that one. Faster than Firebro, but what does it even matter? That is one that you can't help but wonder if Mario could have made it to.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure the Toads are faster than Mario. Although, Tiny Kong, again, gonna really... The Wilds certainly had potential in that situation, but it just didn't quite deliver. They can't cross the line. Another goose egg, and the Fireballs are back to the top of their order, the part that opened this game with 2 runs. Red Critter not gonna make that 3 with a pretty weak fly out into left center.
And Hammer Bro decides that's not his pitch, wants to sit on it. I would have still liked to see the charge. Now you want to see him take the strike here. You don't want to see exactly that, although it works out well. Just the combination of the reduced power of the barrel ball, but you just add it to Hammer Bro's natural power, and you actually end up with a pretty dangerous low line drive in some cases, as this should just be robbed at the wall, and it will be by Dixie Kong. Nice assist by Tiny.
Yeah, as we really look through more and more of this season, I think we're starting to see the barrel pitch's utility. Barrel pitch turns a slap hit single into an infield grounder, but it can turn some home runs into still pretty deep singles. Even a double I think we've seen hit off of the barrel pitch before with King Boo. Though I may be mistaken, it may have just been a single with an extra base. Yeah, and there's that slap hit not doing anything, but the chem item manages to get even Fire Bro to first. Donkey Kong just can't get around those fireballs.
We've got Red Badge up at the plate, not known for a home run hitting potential, but very capable of hitting line drive singles. Whether we'll see that today with runners on first and second, 2 outs, remains to be seen, and it will be seen here. Beautiful line drive. Shouldn't be enough to score a runner, but then the flower runs interference. That will be 1 across the board. Runners on first and third. Very nice.
Yeah, Red Magic Koopa, one of the better, maybe the best hitting of the 4 Magic Koopas in this league, actually. Definitely, I was not expecting him to be the all-star Magic Koopa, but somehow or other he's managed.
And DK is showing signs of fatigue, stays in to face me. I'm not the most accomplished hitter, totally understandable here.
You've had some big home run shots before. Dixie Kong, however, going to get under this one into center and stop the bleeding.
I did like seeing in the background the green Koopa shell destroy that barrel. You know, I like the hazards canceling each other out.
Bottom of the third now. Diddy Kong going to hit a grounder over to third. Wild's down by 3. You're not feeling too bad about that against a team known for high scoring potential like the Fireballs, but you do still need to put up something of your own to get there.
Absolutely. And I'm not sure if Dixie Kong is quite who you want to see up at the plate to accomplish that, but if she can get on base for Donkey Kong here, she could have added potentially another run to the board. However, that will just be a line out to Red Critter, reminding us why he's a easy Gold Glove candidate at shortstop. Some might even say a shoo-in between one of the critters. I am just barely not able to make it to that ball. Really low trajectory on that. A nice slap hit by DK.
And Donkey Kong only just able to make it to first on that. Not a fast runner. And a couple of double play hitters coming up here on 2 outs. Certainly makes a risk. Baby DK gonna hit a deep drive that just stays fair for a 2-run shot. I said in week 1 that Baby DK can go yard, and we have not seen it until this week. I am glad to be justified. I knew he had it in him.
Yeah, and you know, some interesting causality violations there. Donkey Kong really getting to see memories of his former self in that hit.
And the crowd goes wild. Nobody on base for Blue Yoshi to double play into. He's actually going to try for the whole thing again himself. Did the Roots cause any trouble? Not if they can buddy jump pluck it out of the air.
Yeah, really interesting one that I didn't know that they could do the buddy jump on a ball that's projected to land inside the park.
I think we've seen it once or twice on this stadium before, actually, and this stadium
weirdness, I guess.
This stadium really the strangest one in the league for sure. Mario having a pretty good day so far.
Classic Mario hit there once again. We'll see if his efforts can come to fruition as Donkey Kong just getting more and more tired every single inning, but Toad known to hit into double plays.
The Toads
Toad also
generally,
known to hit solid singles. So
all of the Toads generally pretty strong slap hitters. Baby Daisy, however,
mhm.
is not.
Yeah, and with that barrel too, she's actually charging. It doesn't matter. Donkey Kong bobbles the ball a little bit, prevents turning, or is unable to turn the double play rather. Would have been difficult even with that, having to throw to second and then to first as Donkey Kong. You wonder if he didn't jam his finger fielding that ball last time. He wants out.
He has lost interest in pitching for a little while at this point. Not surprised to see him finally give. Calvin, owner of the Wilds, I know here. I have a pretty good suspicion of what happens next, but I am gonna let him surprise me. And we are, in fact, doing exactly what I thought we'd be doing. Diddy Kong taking the mound, Donkey Kong going out into right. Now, a very slow right fielder, but a lot of times when the buddy jumps come in, they do get a bit of a burst of speed to make it, so that could still cause some robberies. But Diddy Kong's got to get him out of a tough situation. Runners on second and third with one out, Red Critter up to bat. Gonna go for a star swing that Tiny Kong manages to grab, but Mario is gonna tag up. What I tell you, they at least know to do it when they're on third.
Yeah, unfortunately, Bat swung around just a bit too late. You know, you want to be pulling or at the very least neutral on that star swing, I think. Especially with Donkey Kong in right field, a pull hit there would have been key. Another star swing here. I theoretically like my pitchers, or I theoretically like my hitters actually using their stars. I would just like different ones to use them.
Yeah,
Like, you know, Mario, for example.
as a owner of the Knights, right, I've seen very few star hits out of Luigi, a fair few out of Petey, and I wouldn't mind the other way around. Baby Mario, not the best hitter on the Wilds, but he is going to get a single here. Mario, getting tired, but still wants to stay in. Maybe he's learned something from Red Magic Koopa. Going to steal for second, Baby Mario is, but taking way too much of a lead on that base.
Yeah, that is the downside of stealing. Generally speaking, in baseball, if somebody's going for a steal, you don't hit the ball. You just take the strike. For that exact reason, it's so easy to hit into a double play and just absolutely wreck your day.
Bit of base running.
Up next, we have one of the strongest 1-2-3s you can see in baseball. Boomerang Bro starts charging early. Doesn't want that first pitch.
Wants the
Doesn't
second,
even want
though.
a chance at it because he knows that the second one is an easy solo shot.
That's one of those home runs that's placed so far. Again, I've said it a few times. I don't think there's an outfield in this league that robs that.
Yeah, it's just too fast. Right in the corner.
And that gap that the Wilds closed, now right back to 3 runs as we get into the top of the 5th here. Banana Ball, generally a tough ball to hit well. Donkey Kong cannot get under it, but it is still just a single.
Mm-hmm. And again, you know...
Magic Koopa showing bunt. Showing bunt very early. Diddy Kong gonna waste a star, really. Probably gonna show bunt for strike 2 here. Yep, goes foul. Now he's gonna swing.
Yeah, I don't think the CPU is really capable of showing bunt on 2 strikes. Every now and then you see it happen in real baseball. But it's generally a pretty horrendous idea and a quick way to get an out. I'll tell you what's not a quick way to get an out, though, is a line drive to deep center as what the hell, Fire Bro? Why would you? You can't run on DK's arm. He has the laser cannon.
Fire Bro just too slow on the base paths. Wilds do not want this gap to get even wider than it already is.
And it was kind of funny turning around to run back. Red Badge had already taken third base.
I've seen some pretty entertaining base running errors, both in regulation and in my practices.
Fire Bro was out. He was always out. He was out from the minute he was born.
Mario been having a pretty good day so far, but not a stranger to double plays. That one not quite gonna be one. Instead, it's an RBI single. Fireball's leading by 4 now. Starting to pull away, and with only 1 out on this inning, things are starting to get a little scary for the Wilds. Pick off at second.
Toad,
No good.
known as a slap hitter, you're not expecting him to be able to drive me home unless there is some significant interference. Instead, he will just hit into a double play right to darker blue Yoshi. Cerulean Yoshi, as some have come to call him.
No, that's light blue Yoshi.
Okay, well that doesn't make any sense because that's literally not the color that Cerulean is. This Yoshi is much closer to the color Cerulean. But...
You can take it up with West Zach, owner of the Monarchs and former coach of light blue Yoshi. Tiny Kong gonna get the Wilds started here with a single. POW item causes a bit of an error, but not feeling confident enough to go for second. This late in the game, outs are very costly if you're the Wilds.
And you already know what we got coming here.
Pretty sure I do. Madge is going to take the mound. Mario's going to replace the bro. Do you also want him in right?
Yeah, I want him in right.
Oh, and I was wrong. Toad is not faster than Mario. They are the same speed.
So it probably doesn't matter that much switching them around.
Probably not. But if it makes you feel better to have Mario out there in right, it's a position he's more used to playing. Fireball item manages to hit Iris, but it just comes out a little too late to prevent the grab. Deep fly out at the wall from Diddy Kong. Dixie Kong going to try and do a little better. Is showing charge, has 1 home run on the year. This not going to be number 2. It is going to be a single with, no, not extra bases. Throw is to third instead of second.
You got to make the throw to second in that scenario. It's not about getting Tiny Kong out, because you're almost not certainly going to. We'll see if they can get Donkey Kong out. That ball's really high. I am able to make it up there, though. Dixie's pretty far from the base paths, but that was a deep, deep ball.
They had time to get all the way back. They definitely would have had time to tag all the way up, and they just don't. Instead, relying on the only player who's actually hit a home run so far this game for the Wilds, Baby DK, to try and drive him in. Home run here in the bottom of the 5th puts the Wilds in reach. Does Baby DK have it in him? He's gonna try, but that one is jammed in there, and it's a grounder to second. No such luck. Baby Daisy not terribly threatening, but the next 2 batters for the Fireballs most certainly are. Wilds already need a grand slam to catch up. Definitely not interested in giving up anything else, though Diddy Kong is starting to wear out now on the mound as Red Critter steps up.
And Baby Daisy really shows what she brings to this team there in being able to bat first there and not hit into a double play in that scenario. There was some concerns, even with nobody else on the base path, she might find a way to hit into a double play, but really just shows what she's capable of. As Red Critter tries to show what he's capable of, that outfield, they've got too much chemistry. They've practiced on this park week in and week out. They know how to rob those home run balls. We'll see if they have to get put to work again, though, as Hammer Bro steps up to the plate, just wants a slap hit. Beautiful line drive. Makes it to first base easily.
That brings Boomerang Bro up here. Diddy Kong opens with the off-speed, and Boomerang Bro takes it. I dislike the change-up in CPU leagues. I find it is too often a meatball, but on the first pitch, they can sometimes... And we have some padding issues again. I just watched the center fielder and the left fielder run away from the ball for a few minutes, giving Hammerbro an extra base. Can they at least rob this one and make sure that there's no extra runs driven? And they can.
I just... I don't understand.
Diddy Kong trying to distract or Dixie Kong trying to distract from that misplay by catching that one backwards.
Yeah, they were just both peeling off to try and let the other field it. Just this miscommunication that you wouldn't expect from a team of Kongs that grew up together. As Blue Yoshi shows what he's made of, a real kindred spirit with baby Daisy. I hear they're getting Froyo after this. I'm sure they're having a great time.
Powball was on deck there, ready to be used. Probably would have turned that into a single. Just didn't come out in time. Baby Mario, maybe not the player you want to be handing your air items to. It's 1 on, 1 out. Wild's down by 4 in the bottom of the 6th. Baby Luigi trying to be the hero here. Hammerbro's got a good catch, and he just makes that throw at first. Some people mentioning, yes, it's also a terminology, but yes, I do also have a meatball. He's sleeping on the bed right now, though. I'm not going to bother him.
Yeah, perhaps for the All-Star break, we'll get a cameo.
This stream setup takes up a little too much desk real estate for him to find a space. Baby Luigi
and Baby Luigi takes up a bit too much real estate out there at shortstop for any ball to make it past the infield. Really just showing why he's arguably the front runner for Rookie of the Year at this point.
Yeah, Red Magic Koopa has been having a pretty good day, but he is not a perfect hitter. Diddy Kong still complaining. Going to stick around long enough to pitch to Mario with Iris on first and 1 out. Blue Yoshi gonna make a double play here?
And he will not regret that decision.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. It was a close play there. Baby DK and Dark Blue Yoshi really had to work for that one, and those are the kind of plays that if you want to get back into this game, you have to make. The fact that the DK Wilds have held the Mario Fireballs within a Grand Slam since that big score is really commendable. They're just going to have to be able to do the same on the offensive side, and Tiny Kong lining out to Red Critter is not how you want to start that off, as we are in the DK Wild's last chance to get back into this game. Diddy Kong hoping to make some magic happen, hits a single. This is how rallies start.
Dixie Kong's been a pretty good hitter so far today. Donkey Kong up next has had 2 home runs robbed. Can he just get one that the outfield of the Fireballs can't quite get to? A 3-run shot would still be good for the differential. But unfortunately, Dixie Kong's gonna line out into a double play from Firebro at second and end this one like that.
Not how you want to see it end if you're the DK Wilds. A solid, pretty convincing win here for the Mario Fireballs. Obviously, they are capable of some pretty insanely high scores. So I think if you're the DK Wilds, limiting them to only 6 runs is not something that you can complain about too much, really. I think it's just wild, you know. It really shows us the power of those buddy jumps, where if you remove chemistry from this game, the score is probably like 18-10 or something.
Which would be more entertaining, but we're gonna try and keep them in here for now. Didn't get the rally cap on fast enough. At least we didn't get killed as much as some people. Yeah, you know, Calvin, it's a tough one. I wouldn't say like the Revs against the Yanks. I think you had an uphill climb, but look, the Flowers tied the Fireballs. Any team can beat any team.
Yeah, this is like the Colorado Rockies against the Yankees.
The Bows held the Fireballs 2-1. Knights have beaten them, the only team to do so far. It's not a, you know, the Fireballs are not untouchable. And with this game tonight, The Knights might not be either. I am going to step away for just a second before I walk you through it, though, so give me 30, 45 seconds, folks, and I'll be right back.
As a crack though, it is true, and that really does just demonstrate how much any team can beat any other team in this league. Uh, we There's one team for which that has not been true so far, but we will have to see if the Luigi Knights are able to maintain their lossless streak through this game.
It's going to be tough, that's for damn sure, but we are sticking to the batting lineup that we've started using recently in order to try and get just a little bit more chemistry in the batting order. We've got catcher Blue Toad starting, starred Brown Critter second baseman, Green Toad right field, center field Autumn, left field Green Shy Guy, the outfield the Green team. Petey Piranha going to try and bring some of them home once they get on base. Luigi there to bat cleanup. Mr. Dead at Bat himself, Blue Shy Guy in the 8th spot, and myself trying to get us going again in the 9th. It's a good team, and this new offense, as we saw last week against the Flowers, can really get rolling once they start. But it's a very hit or miss offense. I'll admit that, and I'm going to need everybody out here to play their best today to go up against a new and improved rookies who, after a tough loss last week against the Fireballs, have started making some big changes for the first time this season.
Absolutely. And on those Bowser Jr. rookies, we have Goomba leading off at catcher, Red Koopa at third base, Dark Bones at first base, King K. Rool taking the mound, Critter's going to be at second base, Magic Koopa manning right field, Bowser Jr. in center, August in left field, and Baby Peach with that star rounding out the bottom of the order at shortstop. We've got a pretty interesting lineup here. Giving Baby Peach the star, we'll have to see how much that comes into play offensively. You wonder if it isn't a defensive decision to make, just trying to make Baby Peach the best infielder that she can possibly be, which could be pretty crucial against your team. Obviously, your team has people who are more than capable of hitting home runs, but definitely a lot of really solid singles hitters. You've got the Toads. Critter can be a singles hitter or a home run hitter. Uh, I'm really interested to see how this one's going to play out.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I've spent a lot of time theory crafting on this one. Hello, by the way, Patashu, new chatter, friend of mine. Good to see you. You're getting ready to watch some pretty interesting baseball because, folks, I've done a lot of homework on this lineup, and I have not been this nervous since the Fireballs in week 2. The rookies are a team that, if I'm not mistaken, nobody has held scoreless yet. The Knights do a lot of their best work in kind of tight wins, very low inning games, one on the defense. The rookies are not a team you can do that against. You have to just outscore them. And I know that I'm capable of it, but across all the simulations, across all the variations, this game is about as close to a coin flip as I've ever seen.
and we'll just have to see which side the coin lands on tonight as we start to get underway.
Only way to get through this is to do it. I'm glad Autumn's confident. And so we get started with King K. Rool, first week starting. Faced exactly one batter in his career so far. It did not go very well.
Does not go the best this time either. Blue Toad does what he's so capable of and hits a single. Gets on base for Brown Critter to go for the charge swing. Is just going to be a bit of a lazy fly out, though.
Got a little too much under that ball, I think. So it's 1 out, 1 on for Green Toad, and I was I misspoke. King K. Rool actually has faced a few batters in total, some last inning relief efforts, but his most famous appearance, certainly the single batter he faced previously. Blue Toad goes all the way to second and has to run back now, as that heavy shot from Green Toad gets caught at the wall in spite of the boo item. I was hoping it would bounce off the wall and get grabbed fair for a single, but no such luck.
It was pretty interesting there. Our two outfielders there in August and Bowser Jr. really waiting a long time to jump up and catch that. I admire the patience. A lot of outfielders who are a bit greener around the ears might jump up prematurely and end up misplaying that ball. But really, it just shows what the Bowser Jr. rookies are capable of, despite what you might expect from the name. As Goomba manages to hit a fairly deep line drive single for an easy, single.
This Red Koopa's first week, I think, in the league without the star, and maybe he's showing it here as he lines out to Petey Piranha for a good double play. Of course, that ball wasn't really too Petey, so I can't give him too much trouble. He tried to place it well, but you've got a league-leading shortstop to contend with here.
And Dark Bones really wants to get on base here for the potential 2-run shot out of King K. Rool. Dark Bones wants the glory for himself, doesn't quite have the power, though. That's just going to be somewhere between a fly ball and a line drive over there to Autumn.
K. Rool's certainly a threatening hitter, but will have to bat alone at the start of the bottom of the second. Green Shy Guy has a chance here for the Knights to get on before Petey, though. Looks like he's thinking about going contact, and not with a critter in the infield. And so another power hitter forced to go with nobody on the base paths for him to clean up. Petey makes tough contact on that one, actually. That's a hot grounder to third. And it's a quick 2 outs for the Knights here. The offense not mounting as quickly as I'd like, though there's still a few innings to play. Luigi charges a little too much on that one. Bowser Jr.'s got no trouble getting to it.
And you mentioned that nobody has held their rookies scoreless. Definitely a team more known for their offense than defense, but I wonder if we haven't seen some tinkering that might change that. Stuff like starring Baby Peach over at shortstop. If you can limit the number of balls that escape the infield, then you can prevent your opponent from putting up more crooked numbers anytime one of these big home run hitters does come up. Big home run hitters like Critter, who will just be robbed at the last second.
Certainly I've seen some balls in this stadium in particular that the buddy jump can't quite get to, but that one was not too much of a challenge for Autumn and Green Toad. And so the most dangerous hitters on the rookies get neutralized this go-round. Magic Koopa showing charge, though. He wants a big one. And if that stays fair, it will, and the boo item gonna give Green Shy Guy some trouble. Potentially could have been a double, but he's pretty slow on the base pads. Gonna stick to 1.
Yeah, I don't know that he could have made it, even with that boo item.
Bowser Jr. gonna line one out to Petey quick. Maybe worth trying.
Yeah, we're seeing some solid infields from both teams here today. Big part of why everyone is scoreless thus far.
Green team didn't have much to say about the Knights. Does the blue team have anything going on? Blue Shy Guy not able to have the POW item help him. He's trying his best. I like him on third, but statistically he is the weakest hitter on this team. I am not amazing, and unfortunately, again, the air items just don't come out in time. 2 outs as the Knights get back up to the top of their order. Would love to see Blue Toad Brown Critter get a 1-2 to open up the scoring here. Blue Toad fulfills his part of the bargain.
Brown Critter is pretty terrifying to contend with.
Certainly a tough hitter, showing charge, but Green Critter makes a good jump for that. It just doesn't have the trajectory. Another
Yeah, and with
scoreless for the
those
Knights.
99-mile-per-hour fastballs that King K. Rool is throwing, the switch up from throwing right at the outside of the plate to right inside can really get you jammed on the bat. And I think that's absolutely what we saw happen. And maybe what we saw happen here to August as well.
Rookie's not the only team who can put a critter on second and watch him crush people's hopes and dreams. Baby Peach not able to get that one out of the infield. Luigi usually plays first, but when he's pitching, I like to be there, and thankfully I haven't had any errors yet. Knock on wood. Goomba of all players showing a big charge. That one actually looks like it could be getting ready to go out, but it's going to be off the wall. Shell item causes a little bit of trouble, and Goomba's going to hit a pretty good double.
Mm-hmm. Double's not as important here when you already have 2 outs. You're not worried about grounding into a double play. However, on a good enough hit here from Red Koopa, Goomba could perhaps score. Not the fastest player.
No, but what's also a real threat, air item and Chain Chomp. Some home field advantage. Rookie's going to get the first score here. And that's the kind of struggle I was worried about. This home field can be a bit of a challenge. Very unpredictable. Error item usage from the CPU, also a real mixed bag, but that one comes out where it needs to. And now the power hitters are up with somebody on base.
Yeah, we got a real fan favorite here in Dark Bones. On 2 strikes, don't know that he'll really go for the power.
Goes out
However, that was a questionable call by the ump. I'm going to be honest here.
Luigi's got some wicked curves.
It's no secret that the umpires are in fact paid off by the Luigi Knights, and I think plays like that just really show how that is an essential part of their strategy.
You've seen how thick Lakitu's glasses are. You can't expect him to make every call perfectly. Magic Koopa gets that one out of his glove, but not before a shell item gives him the old what for. 1 on, nobody out for Autumn. Gonna go contact early. Baby Peach able to get to that one. However, bad chemistry with first baseman Darkbones means he's not on the bag to make the double play.
Yeah, and that could be something that merits consideration going into the second half of this league is there are a couple chemistry pairs that are actually pretty important. You don't necessarily have to have good chemistry for it, but avoiding bad chemistry between your shortstop and first baseman is actually kind of important for plays like that.
Hasn't happened yet this season that it's been an issue, but it was now. Unfortunately, Green Shy Guy kind of kills the offense for the Knights, and K-Rool up here. Charges very early, still hits a deep ball. POW item not going to convince him to try for another. Hoping that Critter can get him to just trot the whole thing here. And Critter's going to try.
Critter
that ball is
hard.
deep. Autumn does not have the hustle. What are we doing? And a quick 2-run shot from Critter.
Right between 2 Thwomp cookies. I believe those are Thwomps. They might have been Womps. Thwimps are Thwamps, though. They have their similarities.
When the buddy jump is in play, I've seen some outfielders put on some real hustle. Autumn takes her sweet time getting to that one. It would have been tough.
Yeah. I don't
think
know
that was feasible.
Exactly how it works, but it seems like there might be a range where once you get close enough, you start accelerating. We saw that she did start running faster there at the end. Maybe perhaps gained a sense of urgency. Just too little too late, though.
Could be. This outfield is pretty deep, but it's also very wide. Bowser Jr. going to get a single here. Knight's already down by 3 in the bottom of the 4th. Not what I'm looking to see here, and hoping to get out of this quick. Petey does not make a dive. Again, folks, what are we doing here? Knight's not making plays I know they're capable of making.
At the same time, though, we are rounding out the first half of the season, about to enter the second half of the season. Nobody's playing at 100%. Everyone's hurt in one way or another. However, you still show that hustle, making an unassisted double play.
Somebody's got to take this team to victory. Solo shot from Petey would be nice. He's not even winding up for this. Wondering if he's thinking about just going contact. No, hits a deep one. Bowser Jr. not able to get underneath it. Just a single, though, and with no one on the base pads for it to clean up. Petey is a bit of a risk. He's not the fastest runner. K-Rool's tired. Does this have anything to do with anything? No, though Luigi very wisely uses a power hit, the force of which pushes Darkbones off first. No double play, but that's okay. Blue Shy Guy's great at those. And he's gonna prove my point.
Any given player on any given day is capable of anything. The bad chemistry does not come out this time. Baby Peach and Darkbones are able to set aside their differences, understand that right now, no matter how they might feel about each other, they do have to play for the same team, and they don't have to love each other, but they do have to cooperate.
This game, bottom of the 5th, Rookies up by 3, Knights still scoreless. Not at all looking like the simulation I ran where the Knights won this one 26-5.
It is still possible. All you would have to do is
there,
come
Petey makes
pretty
one.
close to the record for any inning thus far, 3 times in a row. But that is an option.
Darkbones up, nobody on, 2 outs. Petey, again, not quite able to get to that. And you're really not looking to give K-Rool a home run. He has not gone yard yet today, but I know he can do it. A star pitch from Luigi would be great here, but I know he's not going to use one. Instead, pitches one right down the middle, but it's not pulled far enough. They're underneath it pretty early, and Autumn thankfully grabs it. Knights offense certainly capable of snowballing, but needs to start doing it soon. I'm glad we're keeping it tight, but we've gotta make the moves. And so myself, Blue Toad, Brown Crit are gonna get started.
And if you are somebody who's into basic heuristics, that is a pretty key play to make there, in the sense of, had that gone yard, then the Knights would have been more than a grand slam away from tying up the game. Right now, right here, a grand slam would put them in the lead for the first time this game. This shot's just going to go foul.
Blue Toad makes a good effort.
Blue Mage has no play on it.
That one deep, but just too slow. They'd have a buddy jump on that even if it weren't caught at the wall. 2 outs quickly for the Knights here. Just about on their last chance. K-Rool has done very well today, but isn't interested in pitching. Now, August, owner of the Rookies, refused to give me a pitching order ahead of time. Ah, he is here. Damn. I was hoping.
I totally understand it in this situation. K-Rool has pitched a great game today. But if you want to bring in your closer just a little bit early to get rid of some problematic matchups.
Magic Koopa goes to pitcher. I have more. Yeah, I figured you had more. I wasn't actually expecting this to be the case. Although after kind of playing around in the outfield against the Fireballs, I wouldn't mind if you gave me a freebie. Okay, Baby Peach is the pitcher. Never mind.
Yeah, pretty understandable with giving her the star.
K-Rool goes back behind the plate now, which is where he usually spends most of these games. Goomba to third. Red Koopa at second, Critter to short now. Goodness. What happened to the version where you actively got rid of all the chem in your outfield? Can you go back to that lineup for me? No, not convinced. Baby Peach, a good pitcher, but generally pretty poor stamina. Does not have to survive very long, though, as the Knights are on 2 outs in their second to last chance to score.
I'll admit, I'm not sure with the Star Brown Critter at the plate if I would have wanted Green Critter to go to shortstop. This Brown Critter is more liable to hit it to the right side of the field. But what do I know? Brown Critter is certainly capable, a player capable of those push and pull hits.
Just going to be a single for Brown Critter, who is a little faster thanks to that star, but still, again, bit of a slow runner. A lot of double plays happen in this league. I'm looking for the green chem section to do a lot right now. And the POW item... God. POW item misuse. Completely unnecessary use of that POW item, by the way. Brown Critter would have been fine on second if the CPU had not used that item at all, which it often doesn't. But the one time the CPU decides they're going to try for the item is the one time it causes some interference. At least Green Shy Guy's there to make sure Critter doesn't do anything.
Blue Madge lines out right to that Brown Critter.
Autumn beats me to the joke. We're all trying to find the person who did this, she said, having thrown the POW item.
Bowser Jr. is trying to keep this inning alive, trying to get some more crooked numbers there on the scoreboard. Keep this game outside of the Luigi Knights' reach.
As I've said, it's a powerful but inconsistent offense, and the rookies are a team that you just have to outscore.
Absolutely.
There's no perfect defense to be played here.
We are seeing right now the Luigi Knights' last chance to do just that. They've got 3 outs to make 3 runs if they want to stay in this game right now.
Autumn going to get on base with a single. Green Shy Guy, not quite as reliable on double plays as Blue, but both Shy Guys still have double plays in them. Would love to see a star hit here. Knights have been sitting on a full roster pretty much this whole game. Instead, it's the double play that I was warning them about. And on 2 outs, 3 runs is not impossible. Petey instead going to be the one to use the star.
Yeah, you did mention that earlier. He has been the one most greedy about those stars thus far on your team.
I'm happy to see anybody
really
using
a player
them.
you'd rather see charge swing.
Throw to second instead. Blue Shy Guy has the opportunity to be the hero of this game. I've been giving him a hard time all day. I will take it all back right now if he can just put something on the board.
Nice take inside there.
Show and charge, gonna try. And that's a long drive that just stays fair. Petey... Oh my god, Petey. Jesus Christ, Petey Piranha. Great, so it's all in my hands. I suppose I'll take the blame if this goes poorly, and I don't like that I'm not showing charge, because that likely means a slap hit to Red Koopa.
And indeed it will.
If
for
only...
the last out of the game.
If only the me version of me could hear the real version of me telling him exactly what was going to happen.
Unfortunately, that is not quite possible with the technology in our modern day age on the Nintendo Wii. As instead, David beats Goliath, our last undefeated team is taken down by a team that has shown time and time again that they're capable of just scoring and scoring and scoring. The Bowser Jr. rookies take the win this time. Knights still remain in first place, but it is much more tenuous.
We'll split the season against them. I suppose it's alright. Like I said, that game was a coin flip. I ran the numbers. Rookies could have just as easily been on the other end of it, and I certainly hope that August recognizes that, or I might just locker him later. We don't go to school anymore, but I'll buy a locker just to shove him in it. All
Hey,
right.
whatever gets you through the loss.
Well, the honeymoon is over for the Knights, but I've seen that game go worse. So, with that, I'm going to put us on to our intermission phase for a little bit. We've got 3 and 4 yet tonight. I am thinking 8:15 to be back.
That sounds good to me.
Alrighty, we'll see you all in about 7 minutes. And we're back, folks, getting ready for Game 3 to our horrible second half of the season, says Autumn. Look, it's not going to be a horrible second half of the season. The odds of us going 8-0 for the first half were very low. We definitely didn't play our best on the offense. I know we can do more, and we will. But of course, Autumn doesn't care. She's right back to she's right back to being happy when we get to the bows and flowers. Now, Birdo bows have had a couple of changes. Going to be starting off with Teal Yoshi getting the star center fielder. And following that, we have Cowboy Zach, who, believe it or not, is going to be light blue himself to get the batting chemistry this go round, and also the fielding chemistry, as we can see from the excuse me, as we can see from the fact that he's in right. Second baseman Captain Yoshi batting, and then Birdo, normally shortstop, gonna go to left field this time around. That shortstop position taken up instead by Red Shy Guy. First baseman Red Noki, pitcher Red Pianta, catcher Green Noki, Wiggler going to third after 2 complete games. It's a new and improved bows, I think. I'm really curious to see how the Teal Yoshi chemistry is gonna go. But this another team that I think is around the middle of the pack right now, certainly capable of pushing to playoffs.
Absolutely. Definitely a Moneyball team. Definitely a team that has shown us how to do a lot with relatively little. On the other side, a team that has really shown up in some big moments. We have the Daisy Flowers, and leading off for them is going to be their star catcher, Monty Mole. Daisy is going to be batting second over at first base. Classic first baseman, really. Classic archetype, absolutely able to hit some of those huge dingers, especially on her home stadium. Yellow Toad's going to be over in left field, Rhiannon in center. Brown Critter or Blue Critter will be receiving the star at third base. Yellow Yoshi out in right field. Yellow Madge over at short. Green Para at second. And rounding out the lineup, as always, at pitcher is Blooper. This is a lineup. I think we have 2 lineups that are both capable of playing some pretty fun small ball here.
Yeah, and the Cruiser, definitely a stadium that lends itself to that kind of play. Flowers giving Blue Critter the star this week instead of Yellow Yoshi. The only change I was asked to make. Speaking of stars, I can't help but notice some terrible asterisk roleplay happening in the chat. Iris has the banhammer. I'm gonna let her loose in about 3 seconds, you two. But hey, maybe I can distract him with some more baseball. I'm gonna hop right into it unless you've got something else to say.
All I really have to say here is if baseball is what's going to distract you, I think that's pretty disappointing as the preeminent baseball Fujoshi. Baseball is absolutely a breeding ground for, well, as we get right into this game.
Great. Love to hear it. Blooper starting this game off pitching to Teal Yoshi. Boo item does not get in the way of a magic catch, but it doesn't come out of the glove fast enough to stop him.
And light blue is a good color on Zach. I gotta admit, just like from a purely sartorial perspective. We'll see how it impacts his batting lineup from from an actual winning games perspective.
Impacts his personal batting pretty well, hits that one up the middle. Zach, the last me in this league to even get a hit, until about 3 weeks ago, was really struggling, has absolutely come into his own since then. Maybe I should be taking lessons. Captain Yoshi gonna do the same. That's 3 quick singles up the middle, and the Bows already have the bases loaded here on nobody out. Birdo, not generally a double play hitter, probably going to see a sacrifice run here. No, not quite.
I wonder if that's the first time we've seen two Yoshis get a hit in the same inning.
Certainly, they are not famed for their ability to do so, but anybody can do anything. As Red Shy Guy now going to be the one to try and get one home, but no, instead, lines out into a double play, and on no outs, bases loaded. The Bows don't manage
somewhat
to score
famed
anything.
for his ability to line out into a double play. That could have even been a triple play if there were no outs in the inning.
And so now it's the Flowers' turn. Monty Mole, Daisy, Yellow Toad. This Red Pianta's first week on the pitch. His brother Blue Pianta has served the Bows pretty well in the past before getting traded to the Monarchs back in Week 5.
Wiggler, I believe this is his first appearance at third base for the Bows.
First appearance at third base, period, if I'm not mistaken. Wiggler adjusts to positions very well, has played a lot of them so far this year between his time on the Monarchs and his time on the Bows. Yellow Toad, by the way, going to get a double thanks to the Boo item from Rhiannon, who is up to bat now, going to try and score one.
Beautiful diving catch there from Shy Guy. Holy.
Losing Birdo at short means no super dive from her, but Red Shy Guy's got a pretty good one of his own.
Yeah, this is a really interesting defensive lineup for the Birdo Bows.
Red Noki, of all players, going to hit a deep double.
Yeah, and those tables can be a real menace to any outfielder who wants to limit a runner to a single.
Red Pianta showing bunt.
Absolutely capable of hitting power. Instead of showing bunt.
Going to probably show bunt on strike 2 here from Blooper, and now going to swing, and probably it'll just be a contact single. No, instead the start changeup. Close plays, though, always favoring the runner in this league, and so it is, in fact, a contact single on some pretty strange baseball. Green Noki, famous for her ability to hit into double plays, has a runner on third with nobody out. Can she at least get one home that way? Yes. That is, in fact, exactly what she's gonna do.
Yeah, you hate to see the base paths emptied for Wiggler, who is definitely capable of driving runners home. With hits like that, it's not hard to imagine. Probably not enough to score a runner from second, but certainly would have advanced any runner on base.
Teal Yoshi going to be 2 for 2 so far today with another single to keep things going. Zach Owner batting now, also in the chat, willing to sacrifice 1,000 hits. I appreciate it, it's good to know. Bases loaded on 2 outs.
And who should we have up at the plate but the big Yosh himself, absolutely capable of hitting it out.
Has an amazing star swing. You'd love to see him use it here, but he won't. You won't see it all season. Instead, you'll see some lineouts to second. And part of me is a little concerned, as we see Blue Critter, Yellow Yoshi, Yellow Magikoopa up to bat for the Flowers, at how predictable these batters are becoming. At this rate, by the time we're in the finals, I'll have watched enough of this baseball to call the whole thing myself before it even happens. Blue Critter gonna hit a deep one, not deep enough, and the table gives Teal Yoshi a bit of trouble, but that ball was so high he had plenty of time to stop and get it.
Yeah, on this stage, we've said it every single week, or every other week, more or less. You really want to either push or pull the ball. Hitting it to center it's just not going to give you home runs on this park. Every now and then it can, but the the boundaries of the stadium are very long and not wide at all.
Potentially new chatter on YouTube. Nathan is bored. Pretty sure that's not our Nate, owner of the Muscles, who have to buy this week. Welcome, if you are new. You're watching the NSLB. No Slugger Left Behind. Mario Super Sluggers AI Baseball. Every player has to play. It's a lot of fun. Most of the time.
We have fun here.
Birdo charging very early here. Probably going to take this one. As she should. Deep ball on strike 2. Hit to the warning track. Gonna get grabbed by Rhiannon. Bananas can sometimes cause a little trouble, but having that second outfielder there to catch any deflected balls really helps.
Absolutely.
And so it's one
Shy
out,
Guy here,
nobody on.
not the best bat on this team necessarily. Goes for power and hits it powerfully right to the left fielder.
Yeah, Shy Guys frequently not amazing batters. Honestly, as a class of character, I expected them to be a little better than they have been. Still good fielders, though, and far from the worst bats in the league. Red Noki lining out to short there, trying to prove why she might be contender for that. Another early charge from Blooper. Ooh, takes for an outside ball. Green Yoshi is going to get that one to first in time. And so now it's Monty Mole. Started off the season hot, but has really kind of fallen off as we get into the later half of the first half. Never too soon to get back on that original trajectory. But it's not happening this at-bat, as a quick line out to short marks 2 for the Flowers here. Daisy very capable of tying this up with a solo shot. And she's going to try, but Wiggler is about the tallest third baseman in this league. You're not going to get one over his head.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting position for him that I'm glad to see him getting reps over there.
Red Pianta. Contact single down into shallow left center. And Blooper starting to wear out. A lot of pitchers today have expressed some frustration and stayed on the mat. What happened to Rhiannon? This game always finds new ways to this game always finds new ways, right? Boy, I'm gonna be real upset if this crashes when I try to do something here.
Oh no.
Rhiannon has left the building. It's always the Mii's. Whenever you load the save states, it's always the Mii's.
Yeah, that's not too surprising.
Now, Rhiannon is actually not here, if I'm not mistaken. I'm gonna give it just a minute, but I am pretty sure that she is not in the chat tonight, and so I will be responsible for making the pitching change. Yeah. No answer. Well, if she hops in here later, then... Oh, wow, excuse me on that voice break. If she hops in here later, she will be welcome to. As it stands, I'm going to sub in this team's first choice for reliever. And I will not make any other moves. Yellow Magikoopa, tricky pitcher. 4 Magikoopas pitching in this league, yellow and red. Comfortably better than blue and green. But a very well-placed ball from Green Noki is going to be a double.
That was impeccable. Holy.
And you've got an excellent contact hitter in Wiggler. Bo's very likely to put on one more. Instead wants to show charge. You do have to keep him a little more fair than that.
Yeah, but I'd buy her going for it.
And that is going to be a contact single with an extra base to bring home 2. Magikoopa's good pitchers, but not capable of staying on the mound for a lot of time. With 3 whole outs left to pitch in the 4th, excuse me, I'm wondering if he'll last the whole time at this pace. Teal Yoshi gonna do his part to help, though, as the bomb item does not quite hit second baseman. Green Paratrooper there. And so it's 2 out and nobody on for owner Zach.
I can admire the patient strategy at the plate, and we see it pay off there. Unfortunate that the bases are empty. It's 2 outs. Most likely outcome here is Yoshi is just going to line out, perhaps to blooper.
No, the boo item, again, chemistry item usage. I've said it so many times, it's such a mixed bag from the CPU, but once in a while, particularly the boo item, can really help. And Birdo, although she did line out previously, is still a very threatening hitter. We've seen a couple
I'm
of
calling
Birdo
it a
homers.
hit up shallow center field, just gets past the infield.
We've seen a couple of
She's
Birdo
charging
homers.
to try and prove me wrong, though.
I wouldn't mind one out to right. But on 2 strikes, you're gonna get the better of the predictions here.
Yep, shallow hit, just rolls past the infield.
That is all it needs to do to get Zach to cross the plate. And yes, indeed, Yellow Magikoopa not going to last the whole inning. Daisy, traditionally the one who comes in now. Yellow Magikoopa is going to go back to his original position. It's been a long time since the Flowers have had to pitch past this point. In the top of the 4th on 2 outs, with Red Shy Guy gonna make the 3rd to Yellow Magikoopa, who misses the jump on that ball and then decides it was all just for flair. Flowers batting Yellow Toad, nobody, and Blue Critter.
Fingers crossed.
Step 1, Yellow Toad. Step 2, question mark, question mark, question mark. Step 3, Profit.
We will have to see. Oh, hey! Look who it is!
Well, she's not willing to show her face in the stats, but Rhiannon is at least capable of being here to play. We don't see her on the base pads either, but first lit up.
Have we considered that in between innings, she was met with a somewhat unfortunate fate and is now a vampire?
I'd be pretty impressed if she was a vampire. There's a lot of daylight here in this stadium, and it's not giving her any trouble. Yellow Toad probably going to make home just barely, and Rhiannon makes 3rd, as we see again by the base lighting up. Rhiannon playing the Odysseus strat of being nobody up to bat. You know, maybe.
That's a pretty good one, yeah.
And with Yellow Yoshi up now, nobody out, runners on the corners. Flowers are down by 3, but this is the best chance they've had so far to come back.
We also don't see her over there on 3rd base.
No, but we see the base lit up, and I'm sure she's going to make it home on that. Yep. We can at least see her sliding into home.
But I swear, as that hit started, we saw the shadow of her, but not her.
Yellow Magikoopa. Flowers have been having a bit of a rally going, but unfortunately not going to keep it going. Despite bad chemistry between Captain Yoshi and Red Shy Guy, the double play still gets made. And Yoshi's going to record the 3rd out there. Flowers still put up 2 that inning. Gets them halfway there, but they're going to need to do it again here as we get into the top of the 5th. 2 Nokis and a Pianta up to bat. POW item causes a little trouble, but you know what? Paratroopa, flying characters having immunity to the POW ball, actually makes that out possible. Another well-placed hit on the tables, but Red Pianta not fast enough to go for second. POW invincibility does in fact matter. Daisy gonna give him a star pitch. This pitch, basically a free out as long as there's no chem item. Daisy not always smart about picking that, but she is here. 2 outs, man on
Daisy's
first for
here.
Wiggler. Yellow Yoshi just gets underneath that one. Not great batters, the Yoshis are, but good fielders. Managed to hold the Bows scoreless there.
Absolutely. And we've got the front of the lineup here for Rhiannon. Perhaps not the strongest part of the lineup on paper, especially as we see Blooper there, really demonstrating some pretty slow speed, not able to make it to first. Monty Mole, on the other hand, also slow. Hits one right to Yoshi, pretty much what you would expect him to do. Daisy, definitely a more competent batter, generally speaking, is going to show charge here. I believe she is classed as power.
She is. Daisy is a power class captain. Means she shows a lot of charge hits, tends to use more star pitches than most other types of captains.
Mm-hmm. And hits a very nice double there, excuse me.
Yep. Yellow Toad, a good slap hitter. Not sure who's up next, but I'm sure they're capable as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Rhiannon herself up at bat. Any hit here scores a run. Any hit here gets you one closer to tying up this game.
That's
instead,
a deep ball.
Rhiannon wins it all. Unfortunately, will just be lined out to light blue cyan cerulean, if you're wrong, Yoshi.
Teal's probably not that accurate either, but it's how the SSSL referred to him, and
I think calling that color teal is insane. Teal is like a blue. Teal is like the color of the Eagles.
look, I agree that Alec was wrong, but the man was my inspiration for this league. It's just force of habit.
It's Cyan Yoshi to me. It'll always be Cyan Yoshi.
Whatever Yoshi is, he got another hit, making him 3 for 4 today. Pretty good for a Yoshi that was, I believe, the worst batter in the league coming into this game. Unfortunately,
I will also allow turquoise, yeah.
his time on the base paths is brief as Zach manages to line one out into a double play. Daisy gonna go for the star hit. The boo item, not the item you want to see here. A pow ball, a bomb even. Might have had a difference, but not that. Owner of the monsters, Zach, trust my judgment unless he loses. Look, I'm gonna try, my friend. I'm gonna try for you. But I can only editorialize so much. Blue Critter hits a hot one into left foul territory. Dewey, he is here on YouTube. Hi, Dewey. I'm a little butthurt. But, you know, still in first. And Blue Critter, speaking of reasons to be butthurt, Cowboy Zach and Light Blue Yoshi are under that ball and just decide not to go for it.
It wasn't an especially high ball either. I wonder... I think what it might be is some pathing issues where it like just hit that corner of the luggage area that juts out. And so they were trying to get more in there to line up in position to get the buddy jump. They weren't quite correct on like the x-axis. That's my best guess.
Turns out this game's programming is not perfect. I would say that perhaps Nintendo could rectify it in a new Mario Baseball game, but given the way that the new golf game went, and the way that the new Strikers game went, and the way that the new tennis game might go, I'd rather they leave this series alone for a while.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I would still love to see a new Sluggers game personally.
Flowers on 2 outs, green
Although I have to
paratrooper
imagine
batting.
it wouldn't hit the same as just Superstar Baseball PvP.
One player you're hoping does not hit the same as Blooper, who has not been great yet today. In the bottom of the 6th, with a man on first and the Flowers down by 1, you'd really like to see everybody start showing up. That's a deep ball. It's showing out. It's in the same spot they let Blue Critter get away with it, but no, just caught at the warning track. And yes, Dewey, Knights did lose tonight. Played the same kind of defense we're used to, but the offense just couldn't get going to make up for the couple of runs. There's the home run I was talking about from Birdo. No, never mind. I'm sorry. That pulls foul by what has to be inches. This one is too centered. Item not going to cause any trouble. Once again, the second outfielder being out there helps grab the deflected ball. Yellow Magic Koopa's got that one. Honestly, I think if he'd have used his super dive, it might have been too slow. Kind of glad he went for a normal grab there. Red Noki of all players
wants to make some magic happen, just pulls foul. Would have been a perfect hit.
Instead, gonna swing and miss for strike 3. And so for all the bows are likely to put up this game, I suppose it could tie and go into extras, but the Flowers are at the top of their order now with Monty, Daisy, Yellow Toad. 1 to tie, 2 to win, 3 outs to do it. And Monty Mole finally going to get on base here today. And Light Blue Yoshi spends just enough time watching that ball go by to give him an extra base.
I'm telling you, the way that corner juts out ruins the pathing somehow.
Yeah. You know, I was going to mention earlier when we were talking about, oh, wouldn't you know it, a star hit from Daisy. I don't think I've ever seen this, folks. Flying characters, the only ones who can grab this. And so it's going to be an RBI single.
And for not the first time, Rhiannon is going to be bringing it back just at the end. She's at least guaranteed herself extra innings, something that's very rare to see here.
Daisy's star hit, excellent. I don't think I ever saw her use it in the SSSL. Stunned to see it here, but not unhappily so. Unfortunately, Yellow Toad looking to fly out into right. Flowers do need to put up 1 more to win. Could Rhiannon be the one to do it? Haven't seen any line drive homers over the low wall yet.
Here.
Well,
we would have Blue Critter up at the plate. Instead, we'll have Blue Critter up at the plate in the bottom of the 8th. We're going to extra innings.
And we know how the Flowers love to drag games into extras. But no, I was saying, as we talked about center field being a bad place to try and put the ball, there is no Steel Stadium equivalent in Mario Super Sluggers. Part of me wishes there were, and part of me knows that it would be very dangerous to give the AI that kind of pathing issue.
Yeah, for real.
Steel Stadium is so much fun, though. Green Noki falling for Daisy's star pitch. Red Pianta at least smart enough to stay on first. Another one. Daisy really wants to get him out of this. Wiggler usually has pretty good plate discipline about his star pitches, but not today. Two outs, man on first for Light Blue Yoshi. Pow Ball immunity once again coming into play here. I kind of can't believe it, folks. Putting Paratroopa at second, maybe the best move the Flowers have made defensively this game. Gotten them out of 2 innings already. Blue Critter trying for the walk-off.
And
It's
he
deep.
just might
It's
get
long.
it. The Yoshis need to get there in time. Birdo and Yoshi. Yoshi is just there, makes the out, keeping this game alive.
Ah.
And to a certain extent, it feels like keeping the Birdo Bows season alive. I know we're only halfway through, but this game feels so important. You want to enter the second half with a winning record so bad.
Yellow Yoshi very nearly ended the game against the Fireballs last week. Not gonna hit one over the wall today, but he is on base. But you can't help but wonder if that isn't just double play fodder. And so Red Pianta was not expecting to go this late, and is no longer interested in pitching. I am pretty sure I did get an order from Zach, but he is in chat, so before I do it, I'm going to give him the opportunity. Rather have Wiggler lose this one for me, okay. So is this what I should be looking at? Okay. Alright, Wiggler's done some pretty good work pitching for the Bows so far in his short stint for them. And indeed, Yellow Magic Koopa, what I tell you about double play fodder.
Now, no matter what, this is still each team's sort of penultimate chance, as these games do only go for 10 innings before they're just called a tie, infuriatingly.
Yeah, we get the little draw and the sad voice clip from the old Mario parties. Never thought I'd need to have that on the ready, but the Flowers just love to prove me wrong.
It's an interesting deviation from a contemporaneous sports game, MLB Power Pros 2008 for the Wii, where in the career mode, sometimes the extra innings will just be tacked on to the next day's game or something weird.
Boo Item actually makes some use on Daisy's star pitch there, and so Yoshi is aboard. Daisy's starting to get tired. And Green Paratroopa misses
That one just gets
one.
by Green Para.
2 on,
He's
1
done a lot
out.
of work in this game. But Shy Guy could be the hero of this game. A 3-run home run would almost certainly bring it home for the Birdo Bows. And he's showing charge. He's showing hit ground into double play. As now, his defense needs to keep these Flowers scoreless just to get one more chance at glory here today.
Now, real baseball does not end at 10, but given that we're talking about the equivalent of 3 extra innings, would the MLB consider calling it at 12? Or
Okay.
13th innings pretty regular?
So, gather around.
Alright, yeah, talk to me as Green Paratroopa hits one up the center.
First off, I forget how many innings it is. It's either like 3 or 5 innings that need to be played for a game to be considered a game to be played at all if it ends up being called. For reasons like rain.
Yes, Blooper
After
can
that-
do a double play here.
There is an hour of the day, I believe it's either 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., where after that, an umpire can call the game.
Slap hit from Monty Mola, bad decision here.
I forget if it just... I believe at that point you can either call the game, or if it's tied, you can suspend it to be played later. You might just be able to call it a tie, I forget. But that is at the umpire's discretion. They can choose to tell everyone, play on.
Well, Lakitu generally doesn't like that. He's got a hot date tonight. Banana, not the best error item to have in this situation, but Green Paratroopa falls for it.
He
Sometimes
makes
that's-
a dive.
Sometimes all you need is just a distraction. And Daisy does not want to pitch to Red Pianta.
Understandable. This Pink Menace is capable of incredible things in the right situation, especially before that first strike where Pianta's going to be much more willing to charge swing. He could be the deciding factor in this game here.
players going to return to their original positions, and I'm going to have to make a call from here. Yes, Blooper did already pitch. Zach, don't worry. I know. Just returning everyone to their original positions. In this case, we've only ever had one other Flower pitch, and it was Blue Critter. He's starred, which brings him up to the best stat remaining, save for whoever that is in center.
Unfortunately, there is no winning by attrition in this baseball. Unlike in real baseball, in that insane game between the Dodgers and the Blue Jays.
Rhiannon, not quite able to get underneath that one, gets down in front of her. Double play machine green Noki here. 2 on, nobody out. I like showing charge. Unfortunately, it is going to be a double play still. The triple was highly unlikely, but not impossible in that position.
And if there's anyone you want up here to save what feels like your whole season, it's Wiggler.
Smart
With
star
the star hit
but
right to Yellow Toad.
Yellow Toad's
Now
on it left.
the Birdo Bows have to play for the second tie.
Flowers looking to make a fool out of me by putting up yet another tie here, unless Daisy, Yellow Toad, and absolutely no one can bring it home. Come on, Daisy. Line drive homer over the left one. I don't want to see another tie. That is not what I was asking for. That is going to be a fly out to center. Flowers now down to 2 chances to not make another tie.
You know, the Flowers looked interesting from the outset of their draft, and I think they've just shown you that this team's not afraid to get weird.
It's so funny to see in perhaps the most hitter-friendly ballpark in the entire league. So much small ball, all these ties. But Rhiannon... Nope, Rhiannon is going to make it an official tie. What a way to go, as the Flowers yet again hold another tie. 4-4 at the cruiser here. Guess I'm glad I kept space for that in the scores.
Definitely the strangest record in the league. You know, you kept harping on how much we were never going to see another tie again and all that.
This league likes to make a fool out of me sometimes.
Anyone expected to see one, just 2 weeks after the fact?
Yeah, 2 weeks. And once again on the cruiser. But one game that I don't expect to be a tie is the Monarchs going to Bowser Castle. I'm going to let Iris walk you through the Monarchs while I stretch my legs for just a second.
Sounds great. We've got Zach West leading their Peach Monarchs. First up, batting leadoff is Blue Dry Bones at third base. Toadette is going to be receiving the star over in right field. Pink Yoshi is going to be in left. Blue Pianta at second base. Funky Kong, the real power hitter, center of this team, is going to be in the center of the lineup, batting fifth over at first base. Zach is going to be out in center field. Peach is taking the mound where she is so comfortable. Gray Shy Guy over at short, and Toadsworth at catcher. We've got an interesting team here. I think pretty much unchanged. Peach absolutely capable of putting in some solid pitching. Any of the first 4 batters get on. You got Funky Kong to drive them home. This is definitely a team capable of playing some pretty good baseball, even if they are at the bottom of the pack score-wise.
Well, they're not the only team at the bottom of the pack score-wise. The Monsters are only just ahead of the Monarchs here. They have made not many changes here. Still Green Koopa and Zach and Green Drybones starting them off, though Zach and Green Drybones do switch places here. They're also going to be moving around a little bit. Green Koopa goes to center, Zach goes to left, Green Drybones goes to second. Bowser, definitely the hitter to be worried about, on third. Red Paratroopa going to right. Starred Boo getting his debut as a starter, usually this team's first reliever. Green Magikoopa is going to play short. Drybones on first. Blue Noki catching. Iris has said it before a couple of times, and I definitely think it holds true. Monsters, a bit of an underrated team, you know, really on the tough side of the record right now. They have the bye next week, so this is it for them until the second half. But I really think they're capable of a lot, and I think we might see it tonight.
And there's only one way to find out what we will be seeing tonight, and that's by getting started. Only way out is through. Let's begin our nightcap.
Alrighty, as Peach voluntarily goes to Bowser's Castle for a change.
You know, I hear it can actually be pretty lovely in those winter months.
There was that brief stint in Bowser's Inside Story where they converted it into a theater.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That's a good game.
Was a good game. And we're about to have another good game of baseball, although Boo gearing up to walk Blue Drybones here with 3 balls. But Blue Drybones would rather get on first his own way. Contact single into shallow left. Toadette, the Monarch's star player this week, as she has been most weeks. Unfortunately, it's not going to save her from double playing. She is pretty good at that. So is Pink Yoshi, who definitely would have hit one if there had been anybody on base. Nothing in the first for the Monarchs. Monsters' new and slightly altered batting lineup. Zach is under that one from Green Koopa. Another quick out here as East Zach grounds out to second. 2 out, nobody on. Green Drybones batting. Bowser up next. Would love to see somebody on base for him to bring in. And Green Drybones is going to do his part.
Yeah, the Drybones all around have been solid players thus far this league.
Yeah, their fielding stat not amazing, but honestly, fielding not the most important stat in this league. They really are great batters. Also a great batter is Bowser, who's going to hit a monster of a shot out into center.
And that's the beauty of Bowser. Pretty much only Bowser can hit a shot with that high trajectory and have it escape the ballpark so quickly that the left or right fielder doesn't have any time to get there for the buddy jump.
There are some other batters in this league capable of it, but I don't think anybody's as good as he is.
Absolutely.
Red Paratroopa wants to keep it going, sneaks that one by Blue Pianta at second. Starred Boo coming up here. For a pitcher, he's a pretty good hitter, has had 1 home run for 3 this season so far. That probably his biggest moment, but we'd love to see another here. And that is a
not
long
the
line
moment,
drive into
but
left,
that
single
will
and extra base.
Just gets Red Para into third base.
Green Magikoopa's a pretty tough hitter, though. Not tough in the sense that he's hard to face, tough in the sense that you don't want to see him up right now. But everybody's capable of something. That's an RBI single up the center.
Yeah, really solid. Scores the run, keeps the lineup moving along, and gives us the potential to see this game start to slip away from West Zach a little bit.
Yeah, Vanilla Drybones.
Having Drybones up at the plate, you just can't expect anything less than a single with Drybones. You can expect less than a single, though, with Blue Noki up the plate. Will she be able to keep this inning alive? Obviously, a home run would be insane here.
I like seeing Charge to avoid the double.
But avoiding the double play doesn't matter that much when you already have 2 outs.
It does not. It does not.
She's just never going to be able to leave the park. Do any of the Nokis have a home run?
No.
I wonder if they're, like, physically capable of it.
The SSSL had multiple Nokis playing in 22 games compared to our 16. In those 22 games, I believe one Noki hit 1 home run. I think it was either green or red. Not going to hit a home run here is Funky Kong. Definitely capable of it, but doesn't manage to get that one out of the infield. And Green Drybones, not really a seasoned second baseman, but does what he needs to do here. Monsters back at the top of their lineup. And you know, it is a bit of a shame to go back to Blue Noki there. She actually started off the season surprisingly good for a Noki, but one of your favorite phrases, regression to the mean, has hit her pretty hard.
Yeah, you hate to see it.
That's going to be a line drive out to the wall from Zach, just a single. Green Drybones Bowser, we've already seen they're a pretty dangerous 1-2. But Green Drybones is not going to manage to get on base this time around. Pink Yoshi's ready for those blooper singles, gets into the shallow left field. Hot line drive from Bowser is just going to be a single. And so it's 2 on.
Yeah, I mean, it really does show the kind of player that Bowser is, that you're upset if you are limited to a single.
Red Paratroopa, not an amazing batter, but has had one today that was pretty good. Can he keep the lineup moving? Not when Gray Shy Guy's at short. And, you know, you really see your star middle infields. Petey, your Critters, your Bros, your Magic Koopas to some extent, but even Shy Guys and Yoshis have got super dives of their own that are plenty serviceable.
Absolutely. Although, hey, we're talking about Magic Koopa there. Just entirely misplays that ball. It's going to happen sometimes, obviously, but you really want him to make those outs, and now you're in the unenviable position of having runners on first and second.
With nobody out, although Toadsworth, if you had to pick a batter to be facing right now, this not the worst possible choice on the Monarchs.
Yeah, real fall from grace compared to superstars. Toadsworth just finally showing his age. He's been in this league for so long. Magic Koopa doesn't try to make the triple play. I don't even care if you're going to make the triple play. If you have a chance to go for it, then you have to make the throw to first. You lose nothing in the process. Although,
no harm, no foul as Magic Koopa makes that catch at short. Monarchs not able to put up anything yet. Bottom of the third here, Monsters batting Boo, Green Magic Koopa, and regular Drybones. Boo, unfortunately, cannot get that one past Gray Shy Guy. Patashu on YouTube mentioning Gray Shy Guy unstoppable. He really is. You know, gray not a common color for Shy Guys, perhaps with the exception of Anti-Guy, who I wish they had chosen to put in here instead. That would have been pretty funny. The problem with that, of course, being that Anti-Guy, if he were in this, would have been absolutely cracked. I can't remember the last time I actually did that fight and didn't just bring a lemon candy.
To be honest, I do not remember Anti-Guy off the top of my head.
Anti-Guy is an optional boss in Paper Mario 64. Excellent game. He is guarding a very valuable badge. You can fight him for it. He is a very tough fight for when you get him, when you can do it. But you can also just have Taste Tea cook you a lemon candy, and he'll beg you for it, and if you give it to him, he just gives you the badge.
That seems like a much more favorable strategy.
They do a lot of damage. Pink Yoshi, able to do a little bit of damage himself here after Toadette not able to get on the base paths. One out, one on first for Blue Pianta. Yeah, fun little fact there for you, Nate. Streamer that I watch is currently going through a PM64 rando run, and I brought that up to him just in case he needs it. No, not for no reason either. The Power Plus badge you can get off of him, extremely valuable. Not extremely valuable, Funky Kong.
Yeah, I can't say that I have ever played the Paper Mario Rando. I do have a friend from the Super Metroid running community who is actually like pretty highly rated at Paper Mario.
Ah, very nice.
And that game seems like hell to speedrun.
There's
like RNG that I think loses you about 75% of your runs right at the end of the game.
I think a lot of it is probably like LZS trick and frame perfect stuff too, which I would not want to get into.
Yeah, I mean, frame perfect stuff isn't necessarily bad. Like, not all frame perfect tricks are created equal, but that's a topic for another time. We are ending the inning here. Peach is showing what she's capable of on the mound. You know, she was designed in this game to be sort of the star pitcher, and that doesn't always line up with expectations, but it absolutely has today, as Zach hits one just past Green Bones there.
Thankfully, gets out of the outfield before two bombs, one from the on-deck batter Peach and one from King Babam, come into play. Unfortunately, not as good with her bat as she is with her air items. Peach gonna line out and do a double play to Green Madge at short. And I'll tell you what, folks, top of the fifth, Monarchs have 2 outs already. Gray Shy Guy gonna prevent that from being 3. But in spite of his poor stamina, Boo is holding on pretty strong right now. I'd be surprised to see a complete game out of him, but it's possible.
Yeah, you figure if anyone's going to be able to pitch a complete game, Boo's a pretty strong candidate for it.
Toadsworth gets aboard, though. And now it's Blue Drybones, not the batter you want to see up right now with 2 on. Even with 2 outs, they're very reliable, but I've said it plenty of times before, that magic catch from the Magic Koopas, it's slow to get out of the glove, but it's got range like no other Super Dive. Green Drybones, Bowser, Red Paratrooper batting for the Monsters. Gonna see if they can't put a little bit of insurance on. Green Drybone's gonna try, that one's deep. Toadette's trying for it. And she gets it so quickly that the buddy jump doesn't actually play the animation. I'm still finding ways to be surprised. Not surprised here to see Bowser hitting one deep into left. Westzak tries, but they just can't get there in time. His second home run of the game. Bowser tacks one more on. This is likely to be the end of Peach. Yep. Now, Westzak mentioned to me that they would likely be here for pitching substitutions, although I don't see them in the chat. Their internet has been struggling a little bit.
That's a shame.
And okay. They were asking me perhaps to change the entire lineup.
Oh my.
Okay, Toadette and Peach switch. Oh, interesting. Okay. Keeps outfield chem. I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, we'll have to
Great.
see how
Shy Guy and
Toadette
Yoshi
is
switch. Never mind.
Uh-huh.
Zach's been very busy lately. They are moving. Their internet has been a little spotty. All right, I see good. Thank you. So sorry. Hopefully, with a star to her name, Toadette can get the Monarchs through the rest of this. Boo coming up here.
I wonder how much
outs.
the stars do for stamina.
I actually don't know. I'm pretty sure they affect certain unshown, like, hidden stats. You know, they affect contact size. And Gray Shy Guy, really used to play in the infield, but does just fine out there and left for that. Monster's able to put up one more off a real no-doubter from Bowser. It's a bit like I said about the rookies. The Monsters are a very tough team to hold to nothing. You're really just trying to outscore them.
Absolutely.
Toadette has struggled.
I mean, any
today
team
on
with
offense,
Bowser.
but... yeah.
Like, if you had Bowser and 8 Yoshis, that's still a team that you can't expect to hold scoreless. Unless you are a human who's capable of understanding basic concepts like walking a player intentionally.
No cowards in this league. And as Blue Pianta, of all players, grounds into the double play, Toadette wondering, what the hell, I managed not to. Monsters bringing up Green Madge, Dry Bones, Blue Noki. You know, it's interesting, the way that the Dry Bones are split up with Bowser on the earlier half here, the Monsters really don't have any 3 batters that doesn't have at least one dangerous hitter in them.
Yeah, it's always an interesting strategy, clustering your hitters together versus spreading them out.
And regular Dry Bones shows what I mean with a pretty good single here. 2 on, nobody out for Blue Noki. I don't like that she's not showing charge. That usually means that this happens. Green Magic Koopa does get to third, but at the cost of 2 outs, don't know how I feel about it. Green Koopa gonna try and bring him home, get the Monsters up to 5 here. Not able to, as Pink Yoshi grabs that one at short. Like I said, Yoshis also have a Super Dive, and they won't use it in the outfield. Which is funny, because this game's single-player mode actually makes you use a Tongue Catch in the outfield. So, I know the CPU knows how it works. They just won't do it. Funky Kong has struggled today, and he is going to continue to do so with what is very likely his last at-bat of the game. West Zach up here now. 2 strikes, nobody on, 1 out. Green Magic Koopa's got that at short. And with 1 batter to go, this complete game is looking all but decided for Boo.
Yeah, Peach certainly not the hitter you want up at the plate if the game is on the line, especially against a starred Boo. She will hit one that drops just in front of Green Koopa, though.
Bad show on YouTube. Funky Kong just doesn't hit the same way as in Mario Kart Wii. You know, Funky Kong actually is very capable in this game. He just hasn't shown it today here. Gray Shy Guy has, however, as he's been pretty good about getting on base. Does so again. Toadsworth, more of a mixed bag. And with a magical catch from Green Magic Koopa at short, once again. That is gonna do it here, folks.
Yeah, a couple scary hitters at the end, but Boo does manage to preserve the complete game shutout. Really nice performance by the Bowser Monsters. We had two teams that both really needed a win coming into our nightcap today. And with that, the Bowser Monsters are kind of right in the thick of it. I don't think they are eliminated from playoff contention by any means. I don't think you can look at the first half and say that this isn't a team that is capable of turning it around if just a couple things go their way, if those bats are really able to come online.
Yeah, and we quickly see so many teams. It really just comes down to how are your power hitters feeling today. You know, if Bowser, week one, we watched Bowser go 1 for 4. If Bowser went 1 for 4 here and Funky Kong had had the day of his life, we could be talking about a whole different ball game right now. But Bowser had what it took, and the Monarchs just couldn't get the offense going. Great week to not play, says Nate. Yeah, well, you're not going to get that luxury next go round as I pull up the list of games here so that we all can see what's going on. Now, folks, next week, very exciting, very important for all of you, as anybody who's in our Discord, which should be in the description. It definitely is on YouTube. Don't know if Twitch got it. Already knows, I have made a big announcement. Next week, week 9, we are going to see the Rhiannon Flowers going to the Ice Garden, playing the West Zach Monarchs. The August Rookies playing the Cowboy Zach Bows at Yoshi Park. Definitely one I'm interested in seeing. Calvin Wilds are coming to the mansion to play the no longer invincible Luigi Knights. And last but not least, the Muscles finally have to stare down the Fireballs, and it's at Mario Stadium where they have not lost a game yet. But
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
some really exciting games are going to be happening next week, and we've got some pretty exciting treats to go along with them.
Yeah,
Christian,
so
tell me what's happening next week.
next week we are starting an hour earlier. That is going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern instead of 7. We are going to be playing those games as normal, but following it with the little bit of extra time that we have, it's going to have been the first full set of games, first half of the season. Every team will have played 8. So for any owners who are available, I'm going to, hop into the chat and get a few minutes with each of them on the mic so that all of you can meet them. And we'll talk about how their seasons have been going, how they're feeling about the upcoming half. Just a little bit of fun so that, you can all get caught up on the lore of every team in this league, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a really fun time. Hopefully, we can get some pretty interesting perspectives into how each player is feeling about the season, how they strategize from week to week, and what they're looking forward to coming down the stretch.
Guess I'll have to get busy on coming up with some good questions to sound all professional like. But alrighty, folks, I'm gonna let Iris sign us off. She's very good at that, almost as good as Mario as hitting into double plays.
Well, thank you for that backhanded compliment. That is going to do it from us here at No Slugger Left Behind. We'll be right here next week with that exciting end of the half special interviews as mentioned. So be sure to tune in at 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 3 p.m. Pacific time next week on the 28th. If you want to be reminded of any time we go live, be sure to follow the channel. If you want to join the Discord, the link is in the description. And from all of us here at No Slugger Left Behind, we'll see you next time.
Have a nice night.